Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time watching any of my videos. I know it's been a while since I've posted and I want to apologize. I've been so MIA. I just moved, hence the new background that you guys might see. And I've just been on a lot of business trips, which I know isn't an excuse, but honestly this is my first time really having a major move and I totally underestimated the amount of work. With all that being said, I'm really excited to start posting again, and today I have a really exciting video to share with you all. Even though I haven't been posting a lot on YouTube, wanted to give a quick plug to my Instagram. That's at @hellolux_, which I'll post a picture of here. I've been posting much more frequently on there in terms of story updates or post updates. And generally, if I'm not able to film videos and edit them, I'm usually at least able to post on Instagram. So please give me a follow over there, subscribe here, and give this video a like. I think today's video is going to be pretty short and simple, but we'll see. You know, I sort of love to ramble and give details, but essentially I'm absolutely shocked and floored by what happened to me at Louis Vuitton. Now, I'm gonna sort of preface this video and say this is my own personal experience, so take everything what I say with a grain of salt in terms of the customer service I received, and if a similar issue happens with you, just want to share that this is my personal experience and I'm just here to share my story. With all that being said, let's go back a little bit. So if you haven't already, you might have watched my video that I did over a year ago, which I will link up here, which is when I unboxed this bag after I went to Paris and I bought this from the flagship store. So this right here is the Buci, B-U-C-I. I also posted a full and complete review video on it, which I'll also link right here. It's one of my most watched videos, and a lot of people were complaining about the quality in terms of a crooked flap or etc. And personally, my bag always looked fine to me, so I had no issues at all. Another question that I got a lot is, can you tell me about the wear and tear in terms of, you know, the epi leather or the plaque? This still has a sticker on it, which I'll explain a little bit later. But, you know, I always told everybody that, you know, the quality of this bag is amazing. The scratches in terms of this type of enamel, which Louis Vuitton hasn't really done before, is not really that, you know, viewable or that evident. It could also be, you know, my color of the bag. For example, if you got the black version of this bag, then you might be able to see scratches a bit more. And yes, if you've watched those videos and you might have already picked up on something, this is a completely new bag, and I'll explain why and how I ended up getting this new bag and what happened to my old bag. Awesome. Now getting into the story time and the context for this video, you might be thinking, you know, why are you telling me this? How is this relevant? But trust me, just stay with me here and then you'll realize. So I decided to go on a quick road trip with my partner. It was about a 2.5 hour drive. My partner drives a Tesla. At this point, you're probably like, how is this relevant? But guys, stay with me here. And he was using autopilot, which if you don't know, the Tesla will essentially drive itself, brake itself, etc. You know, sometimes it's a bit iffy if there's all of a sudden traffic or something like that. So I had this bag sitting in the back seat. I normally do this in road trips. I keep the bag in the back seat. I don't really put it on my lap or anything like that because I think it's safe in the back seat. Now what happened is a car in front of us suddenly braked, and when that happened, his car, you know, which was on autopilot at this time, reacted by also suddenly braking instead of, you know, slowly braking. So what happened is this bag went flying from the back seat under the front seats. And if you know, like if you look at a car, under the front seats they have like the metal and the plastic that, you know, holds a seat up and that you can adjust the car with. And I was like, ooh, that did not sound that good because everything just went flying. So lo and behold, I went up and I picked up my bag and I just saw the most massive scratch. I didn't take any pictures of it because I didn't think I would end up getting this bag replaced, but it was, you know, like a giant scratch, and depending on the lighting you couldn't really see it. But you know, I had used that bag for a year and a half, had hairline scratches, and you couldn't really see it, but these scratches were more like white. And my partner was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like let's take it to Louis Vuitton, like let's get this like plaque replaced. And in my mind I was like, you know what, that sounds great, but you know, I use bags to use them and I'm pretty sure I was gonna get a scratch on it sooner or later. But we decided that when we got home we would go to a Louis Vuitton store and end up checking it out. So that's where we get into the story time that I have for you all today. So after I started inspecting the bag, I realized that, here, let me open this and show you guys. So as you can see right here, there are some screws here. Here, it might be better if I show you like this. So there are some screws here, as you can see, that screw the plaque in. And what I noticed with my old bag, which again, I didn't take any pictures because I didn't think anything was going to happen to that bag, was one side was, I would say, popping out a little bit, and the screw had essentially just become loose on one side. And I was like, huh, okay, well, while I go ask them about this plaque, I'm gonna ask them to see if, you know, they can do anything about these screws and retighten them. So I went to the store and I showed them my bag, and they were like, yeah, to be honest, the scratches aren't that bad. Now, if you did want to replace the plaque, it would be $300. But she was like, you know, the screws, that's something that is an easy fix. We can do that for you for free because it's just part of general maintenance. So with that being said, I was like, yeah, like I'll just get my screws tightened, but I'm not going to replace the plaque. Again, for me, $300 on this bag that I probably paid like about $1,500 for, which I'll, you know, insert my VAT video here, but I already got a great deal on it. Nothing's a great deal, but, you know, in terms of, you know, $300 for, you know, a bag that I saved already a lot of money on, I just didn't feel like it was worth it for me to replace a plaque because I might get more scratches on it. So I was like, yeah, you know, forget it. Don't replace a plaque, just tighten the screws. At this point, I went in on a Friday, and there was only one person who was in who could do all of these maintenance works and all of that stuff. So it happened to be that she also was grabbing somebody's sunglasses to tighten and somebody else's bag to tighten. So she's like, you know what, I'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes. And as she said, 10 to 15 minutes had passed. I didn't really think anything of it because I knew that she had other items. All of a sudden, she came out and she was like, I'm so sorry. While I was trying to tighten your screw, I broke the buckle. And I was like, what? How does that happen? So I guess, I don't know if like she was going too hard at it or something, but the buckle just cracked, like this giant LV plaque cracked. So she said, you know, what we're going to do for you is we just happen to have one LV Buci and this exact same one that's in stock. You can take it. She had also said, if you don't want this LV, what I can do for you is give you store credit for the value of this Buci and you could exchange it for something else. In my mind, I was like, I don't really want anything else. I just, you know, want the same bag that I had. And to me, I was like, whoa, this is crazy, because I knew that they could just replace the plaque, given that, you know, it would take a few weeks. They said they needed to send it out, but they broke the buckle. I just assumed like maybe they'd give me a free fix on the buckle, but no, they completely just gave me a new bag. So there I was. And I was absolutely shocked. My partner was like, wow, like this worked out for the better because you walked out with a complete new bag. So I just wasn't expecting LV to do something like this. I was completely shocked and just amazed by their customer service. I mean, yes, it is on them to take responsibility given that they did damage my bag, but I wasn't expecting a whole new bag or the flexibility to, you know, be given that credit and use it on something completely different if I didn't want the Buci.
Something else to note, which is interesting, is that they were going to give me the current value of the bag, not what I actually paid for it when I bought it. So at the time when I was buying it, the US price was $2,050. After I bought it in Europe with the VAT conversion and the VAT refund, I ended up only paying about $1,550 total. But if I did want to get a gift card or store credit this time, it would have been $2,230, which is the current price, plus I'm guessing, you know, the retail sales tax. So, you know, I ended up not going down that route, but I would have almost quote unquote gained an additional $1,000 just because I had bought it, you know, a while ago in a different country and they were going to honor the current US price.
So with all that being said, that pretty much concludes the story time for today. There are a few caveats that I did want to share that I didn't know. So what she was saying is that, you know, for me, this case was a little bit more different or difficult than if I had purchased all these items in the US because it wasn't an even exchange. So she was saying that, let's say I had bought this bag in France, came back to the US and realized, oh, I just don't like this bag and I wanted to exchange it. Yes, I can exchange it, but then I would have to pay for the taxes. So when I bought it in Europe, I didn't have to pay taxes. So it's sort of just like the value of the bag. But if I came back to the US and I wanted to exchange something or do something different, they told me that I would need to front the US taxes. So in my case, they didn't need to do that because this was something, again, that was on their end, but that's just something to note. So what they ended up doing, the receipt is in here, is they pulled up my previous purchase. They essentially refunded it and they put a line item, and let me actually read for you verbatim what that says. It says, client purchase in Paris, clasp is defective, replaced here in US. And then they put the initials of the person that sort of gave permission for this. And then they repurchased the same bag and then waive the taxes. So everything is now on my account in terms of the old bag that was returned and this new bag. So again, let me know if you've ever had something similar. I mean, I've just heard so many horror stories of quality issues and brands not standing by it, whether that's the Chanel 2020, the Chanel 22, or I know the Dior book tote has a lot of glazing and glue issues. But I was honestly so pleasantly surprised and shocked by Louis Vuitton's, customer service. And I don't really have anything on from them on my wish list, but definitely something to keep in mind as I think about what I want to purchase next. With all that being said, that pretty much concludes this video. So I'm happy to have a new bag again. As you can see, I literally haven't taken off the stickers. She told me, just use it, let it fall off naturally instead of ripping it off. So that is going to be what I do. But yeah, let me know if you ever experienced something similar or if you're shocked by the service I received. With all that being said, hope everybody has a great rest of their day, and thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please give me a like and subscribe down below. Bye everybody.